the sprint. Nothing else.
Yeah, and you see that like in MLG, the real competitive tournaments, like they'll start with a sprint by default, and I mean I think that is a pretty good basis because MLG is the pinnacle of competitive gameplay in Halo, always has been, and if they that community at large deems that the sprint isn't overpowered or bad, in a sense, then, I think that's a pretty good consensus to say that it should stay. Some of the other stuff, I mean, if they want to get rid of the other ones, that's cool. I mean, I guess the other ones, if you really want to be objective, or I guess I should say critical, they can be seen kind of gimmicky in a way, and that's fine if you get rid of them, but I really hope that they keep the sprint. But that leads me to why I think people believe that Reach was, it got negatively received. And I got to give a shout out to, I think it was Stampy Longnose, another guy on YouTube who brought this up first. And it's something I'd been thinking for a while, but he kind of beat me to the punch. The reason I think that people received Halo Reach negatively, they didn't really realize it at the time, but is the maps. I think that is what it is. Like, people knew that it didn't feel quite the same, and there was something about it. They couldn't put their finger on it. And I think it was because there's really a lack of diversity in the maps.
There's a huge lack.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Halo 3, I mean, you just look at the maps. You go back and look at them. Halo 2, beautiful, well-designed maps, and a lot of them. I mean, it's just sad when you look at the Halo Reach maps. Like, we were sitting there talking earlier about, well, Halo CE is only going to have 7 maps, and I'm saying it like only, and then I say, well, wait a second, how many maps does Halo Reach have? Honestly, if you don't count the bullshit Forge World maps. Which, I mean, let's be honest, Forge is nice. I'm so glad Bungie has it to give people that avenue to create their own maps and everything. That's awesome. But really, as a game developer, people are paying $60 for a game. You should include more maps. At the very least, you should give people the intellectual property that you've already designed for this franchise. There's no reason that Zanzibar should not be in this. How hard would it have been to sit there and model Zanzibar with good textures and put it in the map? And why do we have to get rehashes for some of the classic maps? Like, why did they have to make Hemorrhage, Blood Gulch in Forge? Why couldn't they give it a proper texture and map of its own? Same thing with.
Notice that with
Good.
With the Forge world, they all it's like all the materials look exactly the same. It feels like the same level in Forge world.
Yeah, and that's because there's a small amount of textures to go around. Like, I'm not gonna be one of these people that just bitch about it too much, because I'm glad it's better than having nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that's why all those maps look the same, is because there's a lack of textures to choose from. And that's why inevitably most of the maps look like the same stone, steel walls, or whatever it is. But that's not the community's fault. That's Bungie's fault. They should have included more maps. I mean, why couldn't we have Hang 'em High or any of the classic maps from the the Pit? Why couldn't they include all these classic maps from the old Halos? Which, beyond that, I think they should have included more original maps. Like, really, I'm sitting here trying to think, other than the big team maps, big team battle maps, like, what all did we get as a new original map for Team Slayer? We got Sword Base and Countdown, which people play to fucking death. But what else did we get? What other new original maps? Like, what am I missing? Like, I play Halo all the time, and I can't even think, what?
I don't know. We'd have to go look.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sad. Like, I play this game all the time. Like, I have like 1,000 games of Team Slayer, and I can't think of another original non-Forge World map that was included in this game.
Not for the 4-on-4. I mean, there's stuff like Valhalla, or was it, that was in Halo 3?
Yeah, no, that wasn't even this. Yeah.
No, there's not.
It's fucking bullshit. And wasn't Valhalla like a remake of Blood Gulch, I thought? Except for they added like the river in the middle, which was actually kind of cool. Gave it a little bit more, and they added that hill kind of in the middle. Gave it a little more strategy. I enjoyed that. I mean, not only did they put the same map in Halo 3 with that example, they added to it. They put some thought into it, made it new, made it, refreshed it a little bit. And I think that's what it is. I mean, I'm really disappointed in Bungie for that. I don't know if Microsoft rushed them to get the game out or what the circumstances was, if they were pretty much mentally checked out of Halo at that point.
That's what I was about to say.
Like they were.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe it's their last hoorah. What the fuck? Throw it in there.
Well, you see this in hip hop sometimes. Like an artist is under contract for a certain amount of albums, and after a while they get sick of their label. Like Columbia's got you under contract for 5 albums, and you're ready to go do something with Def Jam, but you still got to put out, you've only done 4 albums, or you've only done 3. You still got to do 2. So they put out like a remix album and then another just fucking garbage album of collaborations just to get that done. And I was wondering if Bungie was like that, like, oh, they were under contract with Microsoft for one more Halo, and then they could go do their own thing with PlayStation 3, which they want to do now, which I think speaks volumes, because I think that's kind of an FU to Microsoft. I think there was bad blood at some point. And of course they're not going to be public about it. They're going to be professional. But I bet there's bad blood behind the scenes for that whole split up. Because if everything was so hunky-dory, then they would still be together. And Bungie wouldn't be branching off to go do PlayStation 3 games. And they wouldn't give up their baby, which is Halo.
Yeah, because you got to kind of think Master Chief is Xbox and Mario.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Bungie was my favorite game company before Xbox was even a system. Back with Marathon and, of course, Myth, which is my favorite game of all time. And they made games for the Mac. They were only one of the companies to do that. And I remember when Microsoft bought them, like, people were up in arms, like, when that happened. They're like, oh, it's the end of the world. They're going to suck now. Microsoft's going to make them just care about getting sales. Basically, they're calling them sellouts. But you know what? They still put out awesome games. Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, they were all awesome. So I give them all the credit for that. ODST, I found out that Bungie just wanted ODST to be like a $30, kind of like a little add-on game or something.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and then Microsoft was like, nope, $60. That's what we're going to charge.
$60.
Yeah.
You know what it was? ODST is just a different version of Halo 3. It's just a different spin on it. In a different location, same time, same era, same war. So,
Well, and it also used the same engine as Halo 3. So, essentially,
oh, yeah.
They didn't really have to do any heavy-duty programming. Same thing with Halo CE. Like, 343 is not having to do any real programming. They're just using Bungie's Reach engine. But
the graphics may have been rendered a little better, but it wasn't a big jump. It wasn't at all.
Now, you pre-ordered the game. Do you recall what the price was? I know you probably just had to put $5 down, but I've heard that it was going to be cheaper than a full-price game. Is that true, or?
What's it?
Halo CE.
No, I actually didn't put the money down yet. No, I think it's going to be. That's Bill Gates putting it out. I always, kick myself for getting rid of that first one, and I'd be gladly to pay $60 only, and it's worth $60. I don't want to get it and be so disappointed, that I'm going to take it back and trade it in for less than I paid for it.
Yeah.
So it's going to piss me off really bad, but hopefully they'll stay Halo's story and stay true to the first one, and hopefully the multiplayer is on point to every other one. Did you hear it was supposed to be less than 60?
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Which, I mean, I heard this on a forum, so, you know, take it with a shaker of salt.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think that's why people thought Reach wasn't as good. And they were trying to search for reasons, and they looked at the most obvious things. I mean, that's human nature, typical. I mean, you're going to be like, well, what's different? Oh, we got these armor abilities. Oh, the reticle blooms out whenever I shoot. Okay, that must be it. That's why this is a bad game. Which, you know, I think those unfairly took the brunt of the criticism when really the problem has been the maps all along. And hopefully Halo 4 will correct that. Like, they'll learn from this one and really design some good, well thought out maps with good textures and give us enough options. Because that's always been Halo's bread and butter, has been the multiplayer. And you got to give people enough maps to keep it fresh and interesting.
Exactly. Start playing the same maps over and over, you do get discouraged and burnout and stuff. But
start worrying about the spread.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, you know, they also do a good job on the story as well. Because, I mean, Reach is what it is, it's multiplayer, but that is a damn good campaign. I don't care what anybody says. That was an awesome story, and I enjoyed playing through it thoroughly.
Yeah, that's what I heard from everybody. I just wish they would have put the same thought, like I said, into the multiplayer. But, oh well. What can you do?
It's like with games, it's either ones or the other. Oh, we got a big story coming. Like the multiplayer. Big multiplayer coming.
Alright, so we talked about a few games coming out here. It's also kind of sports season. Where you're getting... sorry. To accurate. It's also that time of year where, you know, NCAA, Madden, NBA 2K, you're going to get all those games coming out. Which of those are you most looking forward to? Or...
I want to play NCAA. I know you told me you had it. Options you had. NBA 2K though, that's my biggest sports game as far as that goes. You're trying to push me off this ledge.
Yes.
Leave a little note. It was suicide.
You look like you weren't paying attention.
Most definitely. I'm interested to see who they got on the cover, what features they come out with this time. I hope they keep Jordan, which I read they would. So you know they got all the Jordan modes still.
I read that they're actually adding Bird and Magic. Like, in addition to the Jordan moments, you actually get to do like Bird and Magic moments now too.
Oh, cool, isn't it?
Which, on a sad point, I think that's going to be the only reason to play the game, because there's not going to be an NBA season this year. Which will make me not want to play an NBA sports game. I mean, if there's not a real season going on, it just would feel empty. I mean, that's what makes me want to play, is like seeing the games on TV and, you know, hearing about trades and stuff and wanting to see what that team would be like if they got together and, you know, just messing around.